In our today's lecture, we are going to cover the topic wheel alignment and steering gears. Most of the part of wheel alignment we have already covered in our previous lecture, like the camber, toe in, toe out, caster, KPI, all are related to the wheel alignment. Hello student, here you can see the two figures which shows the first figure is the actual practical checking of the wheel alignment, and second figure, this figure, and second figure indicate the different steering geometry related to wheel alignment that we already studied: camber, positive, negative camber, toe in, toe out, and caster angle, negative caster and positive caster. So in wheel alignment, the different points are considered. The first point is the factor operated related to the wheels. So balance of wheel is necessary in wheel alignment. Wheel should be balanced statically or dynamically. When wheels at the rest condition, it should be balanced, or even at the running condition, the wheel should be balanced. Second one is the inflation of tire. This term related to the standard pressure inside the tire. For example, for the car, generally having the engine front side, we keep the pressure 30 to 40 psi for the front tire, and for the rear side, luggage side or passenger side, we keep the 30 to 35 psi pressure. Because of the weight of engine at the front side, tire pressure required more. Then proper brake adjustment. So no play in brake pedal. Brake should be accurately maintained at a sensing position. Later, the point related to the steering geometry that we already learned. Camber should be 2 degree. KP or SAI means kingpin inclination, or steering axis inclination should be in between 7 to 8 degree. Included or combined angle, it the combination of camber plus KPI or SAI, it should be range between 9 to 10 degree. Caster angle, it may be positive or negative, the range is the 2 degree. And toe in and toe out mean when will tilt inwards, it's called the toe in. When will tilt outward, it's called the toe out. Both the condition are undesirable. It can be adjusted by the adjuster rod provided over the steering linkage. Next one is the steering linkage. So it should be properly lubricated and having the proper relative motion between each part. Suspension system should be robust and it's suitable for to take the different types of load, and also give the cushioning effect. So what is mean by wheel alignment? Wheel alignment refer to the tracking and adjusting the angle position of the wheel as per the manufacturer specification. When all four wheels are in exact straight line, when all four wheels are in exact straight line and parallel to opposite wheel, each wheel parallel to opposite wheel, as well as they follow the straight path, this is called the wheel alignment. You can say adjusting the wheel and tire angle with respect to suspension system or steering system. So friends, here we learn this how practically it is fixed, or how practically it is checked the wheel alignment. Generally you can see near any garage or shop how they do this arrangement. They are here you can see the machine, okay, standard machine for the wheel alignment, having the infrared sensor here. These are the infrared plates, take the sensors from it, provide the input to the sensors. Then vehicle track here adjusted with the height, and four wheels are locked on this track, and there is here not shown, but there is a screen of computer which show the all the data related to the steering geometry. So what is the procedure? First park the vehicle over the track, over the track or alignment jack, then all four wheels should lock. Here the circular plate are provided on for the each tire. On that one is after the rest of the tire it is locked, and after getting the straight position and tracking, later attach the infrared sensing plate to each tire by bolting here. It fix on the rim of the tires all, and the face toward the sensing machine. The plate face toward the sensing machine. On the screen you can select here the company name. For example, this car is the Alto car, so select here Maruti Suzuki. Later select the model. It will show the all, it will display all the predetermined alignment values for that standard model. The after starting the machine, sensor capture the current data of the alignment of all wheel, and it display on the screen. Means camber, toe in, toe out value it shows on the screen. If the value of the angle is outside the range of specified data, in that case software compare it and showed correction needed for that particular wheel. Software shows those value in a red color. When technician fix the angle by adjuster by the adjuster, just adjusting by the spanner on the steering mechanism and changing the position of the suspension nut. Once it later it comes in a limited zone, this value software shows in a green color. So it is the range value software shows in a green color. Then all the values later seen in a when you can see in a green color, in that case we can say wheel is all the wheels are aligned properly. So here it is my advice, so please go and see in a near garage or shop to understand this wheel alignment. In this topic we are going to learn types of steering gears. So different types of figure you can see here. So this steering gear used in a manual steering as well as in the power steering. But in power steering it is assisted by the hydraulics power. So first type is the worm and sector gear. You can see here worm and this is the worm and this is the sector is attached over the worm. Second one is the worm and roller gear. You can see here worm and this is side, it is parallelly axis to each other, worm and roller gear. Later the types is the cam and double lever steering gear, worm and ball bearing nut steering gear, cam and roller steering gear, cam and peg steering gear. So here also you can see worm and nut type steering gear, worm and nuts type steering gear here. So last one is the worm and war wheel type steering gear in this figure. And this steering mechanism provide necessary leverage required for the steering. It reduces the effort, absorb the shocks. They convert input motion of the steering wheel into proper angular proper movement to the pitman arm or through the drag link, and we get the output as per the desire. Number of gears used in steering system are many, but intentionally here two color I have mentioned in a red word: reciprocating ball steering gear and rack and pinion steering gear, because they are commonly used and popular in the steering system. We are going to study these two gear in a next topic. In this topic we are going to learn two types of steering gear commonly used in the vehicle, and they both are the popular. One is for the heavy vehicle and another for the light vehicle. Here you can see the first figure, recirculating ball steering gear. Here so direct contact is avoided and ball is placed between two sliding part. That's why it's called the, and these balls are recirculated inside this groove. That's why it's called the recirculating ball steering gear. Here the input comes from the steering wheel and hold this unit fixed under this casing. So it is improved version of the worm and nut steering gear. It consists of worm at the end of the steering. You can see here this worm at the end of the steering column, and a nut is mounted on the shaft with a two set of ball. This is the nut mounted on the shaft with a two sets of ball having the ball guide or container, we can say, for the storage purpose of steel ball. This ball rotate inside the grooves of worm inside this nut, and the function of ball is to reduce the friction between worm and nut. It reduces the friction between this worm and nut because it's having only point of contact. So contact area is less, so friction is less. Same like the ball bearing. So nut has a number of teeth on outside, and you can see a number of teeth on the outside, and it meshes with the wheel sector. It meshes with this wheel sector here. The steel ball roll in the grooves and nut travel along the length of worm, and this nut travel along the length of worms, and then wheel sector get the motion from the nut. Then wheel sector get the motion from the nut, and it turns the drop arm. It turns the drop arm. It's move like the to and fro after getting the motion input from this, like this. So it rotate into, later it transfer to the steering linkage, and it rotate in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Here it not shown, but the end name is not given. Its adjusting screw is also provided here, provided here to adjust properly this alignment. And this steel ball is used and maintained inside of this nut, and this types of steering gear is used in the heavy vehicle because it is having the advantages of it reduces the friction. So friend, I think you understood this point. So I am going to the next point, the rack and pinion gear arrangement. Rack and pinion gear arrangement. You basically know what is the function of the pinion and what is the function of the rack. The rotary motion of the pinion, okay, convert into longitudinal motion by the rack. It's called the rack and pinion arrangement. Same arrangement is used in the steering gear. Here this mechanism is simple and simple and light in weight. It requires also less space and also the number of less linkage part compared to the other gear. This mechanism consists of rack, pinion, then boot, tie rod, and casing is supported on the frame. You can see this frame, this casing is supported, attached over the frame. The ends of rack connected to the track rod. This ends of track is connected here to the track rod with the help of ball joint, and pinion shaft rotate on plain bearing in the housing. This pinion shaft rotate over this plain bearing in the housing, and the rotary motion is given to the steering wheel. This causes the track rod to turn the wheel in desired direction. When the motion is given to the pinion by the steering wheel, it translate into the towards the rack, and it transfer into desired direction. For example, rotary motion given to the clockwise direction, so in that case rack will move the right this side, and when it give the motion or inclination to the steering wheel through the track rod in the desired direction. This boot is like the casing is provided to protect the steering parts inside this part from the dust and dirt. And this is mostly used. You can see these types of gear arrangement in the Maruti 800, Alto or Maruti Swift design. Here we are going to learn the topic steering ratio and reversibility. So first, before going to this point, you can see this figure here. This is the steering wheel giving the rotation about the axis, then steering gear, then steering rod. Here you can see the steering gear arrangement. Then it go to the tie rod and tie rod to the stub axle. On this stub axle, tire and wheel assembly is mounted, and it's at the king point, KPI point. It is pivoted and it rotate about this point. Here you can see this area turning of the wheel. So here what is mean by steering ratio? Angle turned by steering wheel. Angle turned by the steering wheel to the turning angle of the stub axle. Stub axle means on the axle on which the wheel and tire assembly is mounted. So theoretically speaking, 1.5 complete turn of steering wheel each side, from the center to each side or midpoint of each side, it will apply a fully lock of 45 degree each way on the front wheel. Means 1.5 rotation of the wheel, theoretically speaking, it apply the 45 degree here angle, means range of 45 degree angle over the stub axle. Generally, this ratio is maintained 12:1 for the car and 35:1 for the heavy vehicle. Next point, friend, it's related to the reversibility. Reversibility related to the steering. When steering stub axle turns steering wheel through the gear mechanism by reducing means if in for example, let's consider if the outside person who is not inside the vehicle is turning the front tires or steering wheel, so automatically this motion transfer to the steering linkage into the steering wheel and it also rotate right or left, same like the motion given to the steering wheel. So how it is happening? Because in the steering gear, if pitch between the two mating gears is more, in that case this motion is more. If the pitch of the steering gear is less, in that case, so it is difficult to rotate steering wheel through these steering tires. So here by reducing the pitch angle of the screw can be make irreversible. Means if you maintain the small pitch angle, in that case the steering wheel or steering mechanism will be the irreversible. So advantage of this, road shock cannot be transmitted to the steering wheel. Means if pitch is less, the steering will be the irreversible, and same time advantages, road shock cannot be transmitted from the the shocks coming through this tire and wheel assembly, it transfer to the steering linkage to the driver, so and it increases the strain to the driver, so it is avoided by making the irreversible. But there is also one disadvantages, and this is the main point of this reversibility steering. Friction is more in irreversible steering, so it increases the friction, and the forward efficiency is very low. It means harsh steering. In that case, driver can feel the harsh steering. So to avoid this, so both the reversible or irreversible steering is not used in the vehicle. The best optimum criteria for the steering use is the semi reversible design in the present day.